Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2018 career mode. We are finally back, and today it's time for round 10 for the British Grand Prix, my home race, and pretty much the halfway point of the season, give or take, combined with the next race in Germany. If you guys did miss the last race for round 9, do check out the episode, guys, by clicking the card in the top right hand corner for the Austrian Grand Prix. A very interesting race, guys, and we were trying to break the 1 minute lap, and I guess you can go and find out if we did do it or not. It's pretty unrealistic, but we're going to try and do it nonetheless. But today we arrive here at Silverstone, and we have 3 upgrades on the car, 2 of them for the engine, 1 for the aerodynamics, and I'm hoping this upgrade package will hopefully really boost us towards Sauber and really close that deficit, and fingers crossed we can really make a charge towards them in the second half of the season and close the gap. Currently we're leading the championship, so I want to try and get my championship lead. However, for this race it wasn't how I expected. I thought I'd close the gap to Sauber. Unfortunately, Sauber responded, and they've brought a massive upgrade package of their own for this race, and they are the biggest upgraded team going into this race, along with Williams. So Sauber doing the job and bringing some huge upgrades here for this race, which is a little bit annoying for me because I was hoping to really close the gap, but still, it is what it is, and we're going to have to try and compete against the Saubers, who are going to be extra fast this weekend around a track that is going to very much suit their car here at Silverstone. Having said that, though, we do have our own upgrades, and the target is simple. We have to, at least go for minimum a top 4 to be, second best team, and also in the race tomorrow, minimum a podium. We need to stay consistent on the results and make sure we don't give the Saubers too many points, and we need to try and do our best. Most weekends they close the fastest Sauber, so normally I'm trying to look for second place to try and beat Ericsson and try and stay close to Charles Leclerc. But let's see how it goes as we now jump into Saturday qualifying here at Silverstone, my home race, and one of my favourite tracks on the calendar. Really enjoyable, and the car tends to always be a right handful around here, which I really like. It's just a car where a track where we can just throw the car around, and it's full of action. You get very little moments to breathe, except for the pit straight, the hangar straight, and also the Wellington straight. But besides that, it's all just action around here, very high speed corners, and it ultimately comes down to the car you're driving and the car setup. But as you can see, we're here at the track here in qualifying. We're going to go for 3 runs as always, and I can tell you off the bat, my best lap was my final lap, which we'll go on board for. And I can say also, I didn't really time it that good, and the qualifying glitch did affect us a little bit in this session. But let's jump into our first run first of all, and let's see how things go. As you can see, Ericsson currently setting the pace in the Sauber. As to be fair, we come towards the end of our first banker, and I was a little bit unsure on setup whether I wanted to use 2 6 wings or 1 6 wings. So on this run I was using 2 6, and I was trying to experiment and see how the car felt. And to be fair, it was pretty stable, but a little bit too unstable for my liking. The back end could still slip a little bit, and I felt like I wasn't pushing at 110%. So for the second run onwards and the rest of the session, I went down to 1 6 wings, but I need to go back to 2 6 for the race tomorrow. But for now, we're committing to the 1 6, and as you can see already, we've found 3 tenths or so in the first sector, and now towards the end of sector 2, now we're really pushing on here, and the lap's coming together really nicely here, to be fair, and it's generally speaking a very nice and consistent lap as we now go across the second sector. Currently P4, Leclerc now currently P1 in the standings, and Ericsson P2, and now through the final corner here, pretty good lap, improving by nearly 4 tenths of a second, and unfortunately we don't change position, we remain P4, but we do find 4 tenths there on that second run. But now we're going to run aboard for my final lap of the session, my best lap of qualifying here, and as you can see, look at the lap time, I missed the line by about 5 seconds, which is a little bit annoying, because I would like to have crossed the line with 1 minute 23-24 on the clock, so I could manually do the in-lap myself. Nonetheless, through turn 1, absolutely flat out here, carrying the speed as we now brake just after the 100 metre board for turn 3. Make sure you use the third gear to rotate the car, and then for turn 4, it's really important to focus on your exit to really maximise the traction out here. Use the curb on the right hand side to balance the rears as you now go flat out through the 5, and now onto the Wellington straight as you now look for the break point into Brooklands here, and you want to try and turn in, go for that late apex and bring the car across as much as you can to open up the line into Luffield. Focus once again on your exit, use the curb on the left hand side for maximum straight line purposes to really make sure you get the best possible traction. Flat out through Woodcut and now into the old turn 1 at Copse Corner, turning just before the 50 metre board, and tap the inside curb, let the car run wide, carry the speed, using the overtake ERS here to maximise the speed, going into Maggots and now into Beckett's, carrying the momentum, making sure you don't lose the back end mid-corner, and then through Chapel. I lost a little bit of speed there, and I scrubbed off a little bit too much going through the net through the last right-hander there, but still we are improving, and we're a tenth and a half up as we now go into the final sector and into Stowe, turning in just before the 50 metre board. Make sure you tap the inside curb, get the power as soon as possible, let the car run wide, and then bring it down to the break point as the curb appears on the right hand side for the Vale chicane and let the car just flow through here. Don't be too eager on the power, you will spin very easily through here, and then flat out to the line, we tap the curb and it unsettles the car a little bit. We do improve by 2/10 and we do go P3, and I do think that lap would have been good enough for P2 had it stayed in normal qualifying conditions, but the qualifying glitch, a lap time glitch occurred, and you can see that Sebastian Vettel benefited from it along with Charles Leclerc, who set a ridiculous lap time with the qualifying glitch there. And yeah, Vettel and Leclerc setting some pretty insane lap times, to be fair, and also Perez and Ocon as well benefiting from that as well a little bit in the Force Indias. But with that being said, we get P3, and the best we could have done, we just managed to edge out Marcus Ericsson there for P3, so very well done there and in that qualifying lap, and I think it was pretty much perfect, to be honest, so no complaints from my end, and the best we could have done. Tomorrow is the race though, and we're going to try and turn it around and see if we can try and win the race, and hopefully Vettel can try and cause Leclerc a couple of problems off the start. But with that being said, it's time for round 10 for the British Grand Prix. Let's jump into it.
We're right back where it all began. The very first World Championship Grand Prix was held here at Silverstone in 1950, with Giuseppe Farina taking the top step of an all-Alfa Romeo podium. He earns 9 championship points that day on his way to the inaugural title. His winning total at the season's end, just 30 points. My, how times have changed. So let's see who can reach the top step of the modern podium today. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of the Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, along with 2 DRS zones on the Wellington and Hanger Straights respectively. But the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Let's talk about Martinez. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Martinez, Ericsson, Carlos Sainz and Alonso, Perez, Ocon, Hülkenberg and Stoffel van Dorn, Magnussen, Grosjean, Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen, Gasly, Bottas, Brendan Hartley and Lance Stroll, Sirotkin and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, here we go then. It's time for the British Grand Prix. We start from 3rd place on the grid behind the main man, Charles Leclerc, alongside Sebastian Vettel, and then alongside me is going to be Marcus Ericsson. So let's see how it goes. Race strategy for today, a pretty straightforward one-stop strategy from the softs onto the mediums, and that's pretty much what everybody else is going to do around us. So it's a pretty straightforward race. If we want to win it, we're going to have to do it on track. And that's as simple as it gets. No weather change expected. There's going to be mixed conditions all the way through. So, yeah, we're going to see how it goes. And fingers crossed I can try and bring one back for the team and try and secure another victory. If not, damage limitation. If I can finish where I start, that'd be great. But realistically, 2nd place is right there. We need to try and take it. So, with that being said, it's time for round 10 for the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. Let's jump into it. Right, here we go. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights. Build up the revs to the sweet spot. The lights are on. And they are off, and away we go. Not the best start you'll ever see, not at all. We're on the outside line here into turn 1. We are going to go around the outside though and get back past Ericsson, and I believe that was Carlos Sainz. Leclerc though stays in the lead. Unfortunately, he's always getting perfect starts, which is a little bit annoying. Vettel holds P2, and we've taken 3rd place back. But let's see if we can try and win this race. I think this will be quite unrealistic and quite hard to achieve. So we're going to look at something else. Here comes Ericsson. He's going to go to the outside. I'm hot on the brakes there, but we're going to still get it slowed down just about. Ericsson all over the back of me here early on. We know how fast the Sauber is on the straights, and he's going to probably be causing me some trouble early on here until we can open up the gaps. So I'm going to try and rely on some ERS here as Ericsson goes to the outside this time. Approaching Cops. Oh dear me, this is going to be close. I'm going to hold the inside. I actually run wide there. Very little grip early on. And luckily Ericsson stays behind, but that was a bit of a risky move from me, running that wide. The grip kind of caught me off guard, yellow flag behind. But so far, lap 1 draws to a close, and you can see how far away Leclerc and Vettel have pulled away. I'm kind of hoping the Saubers don't have the race pace, the kind of pace they had in qualifying in race pace. But I'm fully expecting it to be the case, to be honest. I think it's going to be quite hard to beat the Saubers today, at least Charles Leclerc. But so far, Vettel's keeping up, so he's doing a good job. Let's see if we can try and reattach ourselves and get back into that lead group. Leclerc 25.5, pretty insane pace, to be honest. Ericsson to the inside, into turn 1. Oh my god, that's close, but we are going to hang around the outside of the Sauber. DRS is now enabled, so it's going to be even harder to shake off Marcus Ericsson. If we couldn't do it before, we're not going to do it now. I'm really hating how this race is starting to go already, because we're getting sucked into this unnecessary battle. And the Renault of Sainz is holding on. Here comes Ericsson once again. I'm going to have to go defensive. Ericsson around the outside. I just need him to make a mistake or get put under pressure by the Renault behind, but that's not going to happen. So I'm forced to defend my line every single time against Ericsson on every single straight, because that Sauber is just ridiculous on the straight lines. Ericsson's going to get the run of me here once again. I can't get rid of him. I can't shake him off. I hate this so much. Yellow flag behind. Hopefully there might be a VSC. Oh, there you go, on the buzzer. VSC deployed. We just stayed in front of Ericsson there, which is good. I'm going to try and save some fuel because I'm going to need it this race. Trying to see who retired here. Going to get some confirmation. Looks like a Haas has pulled over. So either Grosjean or Magnussen. It's Kevin Magnussen. There you go, confirmation. This race is becoming stressful already. I don't like how this is going. I just hate how the slipstream is so powerful, and also the Sauber so bloody fast on the straights. We can't get rid of the thing. I just can't shake it off. We need to improve this car so much more and get so much better on the straights. Currently on the restart at full power. I'm half a second off my personal best, but Ericsson is also at full power, and he's finally going to get the move done. He's going to go extremely slow through Stowe, but he's going to get the move done and give me some dirt here in the process. Sainz can't keep up because the pace on the restart has been too strong after the VSC, so let's try and stick with Ericsson here. Let's try and use his DRS for a change and try and follow him for a few laps and see if I can be a nuisance to him. You can see he was the fastest on the restart, so here we go then, DRS on Ericsson. I mean, it's pretty easy to keep up with DRS, to be honest. Here we go, we've got the run here once again. We're going to go down the inside and retake the position. Pretty straightforward, to be honest. Just goes to show a very similar pace, and it just comes down to DRS. Ericsson does go down the inside of the final corner, or the final chicane should I say, but we can easily hang around the outside there, and we get the traction down, so we're going to stay in front, which is good on the pit straight. Personal best 26.3, but that's still a whole second off the fastest lap that Ericsson did before, so kind of summarises where the cars are in terms of overall performance, to be honest. Looks like Ericsson's going to return the favour now. Here he comes. Around the outside. Although he's not really got the move done, I'm going to hold it on the inside line. I get a poor exit though out of Stowe. Ericsson around the outside this time. No way past there. And we hold on to the position once again. It's going to be the story of the rest of the race, this. We just can't shake each other off, to be honest, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, Ericsson's coming at me again here. I managed to stay in front for about a lap and a bit without any distractions, but he's once again coming back at me around the outside. We're going to defend that once again. Textbook defending. Approaching the pit window now as well. We are getting closer to the pit stops. That's going to be a factor here. Hopefully we don't lose the position to Ericsson and we stay within range. That's what I want. I want to be fighting Ericsson this race and not finishing outside the podium. Got to give credit to Vettel. He's got a great pace. For once he's got much better pace than me, and I can't really match him here today. He's doing a great job. Here comes Ericsson then. He's going to get the run. I'm going to go defensive once more. Easy stuff right there. We can do this all day. Once again, he's going to be on me here. He just picks up speed mid-straight. You can just notice it. How he just kind of kicks up the higher gear. Again, we can defend. We're scheduled to pit in this lap, so let's try and keep him behind for the rest of the lap if possible. Right, so we've made it to pit stop time. I think Leclerc's pit in, yes he has. Ericsson staying out. Get it all slowed down for the 60. It's a very slow pit lane this one, so you can easily get caught out. Save fuel, save ERS, gone to the medium. Sainz in the end had to back out. He couldn't keep up with the pace, but we're going to see if we can try and hold third place this race. I think second's impossible. I think Sebastian's got it covered. He's too quick for me. 2.5, pretty straightforward stop. not the best, and we're going to have to be strong on the outlap here to keep Ericsson behind us, because we normally struggle on the cold tyres. So let's see where we rejoin. Hopefully not much traffic if possible, clean track, that's what I would like. We've got Toro Rosso here who's coming by us, Brendan Hartley. If we could just slot in behind him, a little bit slow off the limiter there, as I had a little bit of a screen freeze as I managed to hit the pit limiter line. But we have rejoined in a nice bit of clean air. And that's about getting up to speed straight away and trying to switch on these horrible mediums and see if I can find some pace. They're just so understeery, bad on the rears, and just overall inconsistent. Right then, let's get up to speed and let's try and keep Ericsson behind us on this outlap. It hasn't been the smoothest outlap, I have to say. The tyres have taken a little while to warm up, but I think we've now just started to get them into the zone and I'm able to push it a little bit. The question is, have we left it too late? And is Ericsson going to overcut us? My gut says yes and my head says yes. But let's see if we can maybe not make it happen. There's Ericsson leaving the pit lane now, and there you go. He's easily overcut us. So we're going to have to do it on track. Let's use the fact he's on cold tyres to close the gap. Let's try and get back within DRS if possible. There we go, personal best, purple middle sector. I'm within a second, but I don't have DRS because I was too far back at the detection point. Hopefully I should have it now going onto the pit straight and we can get ourselves within a second of Ericsson and try to edge towards him. Also, Vettel's lost a bit of time there in that exchange. He's definitely a bit closer than what he was. We've also managed to get DRS on Ericsson now, which is good. And let's try and re-overtake him if we can. Personal best, 25.6, still 3/10 off the fast lap of the Grand Prix though. Oh, yellow flag. Oh no, I think it's Sebastian. Oh no, after such a strong race, I think he's got a puncture. Oh, contact with Ericsson there. I think Sebastian's got a puncture, unfortunately. Or he's got a car problem, he's got to pull over. We'll find out. I think it's a puncture. No, he's pulled over, I think. Vettel's out of the race. Oh dear. Oh man. That was his best race of the entire season. And Sebastian Vettel is out. As Ericsson got wing damage, I guess we'll find out. But here we go, into Maggots and Beckett's. Can I make something happen? Not too bad through there, but we're a little bit far back, I think, to have a run at Ericsson. But this has now become a battle for P2, so we need these points. Damage limitation. I'm still running rich mix and maximum ERS here. I'm going to run into the negative soon, but I want to try and get the move done on Ericsson. Or I can start saving, actually, and build everything up again and have a full-on attack at Ericsson and just basically chill in his DRS. I might do that, to be honest. Look at that. It's just, we're not good enough. You know, the second we come out of the high engine modes, Ericsson just flies away from us. We don't have the pace. It's, you know, full engine power or bust. But I need to save a little bit so I can attack Ericsson, and also not just attack like the first stint, I need to stay in front as well, so I'm going to need that power. So I need to try and save as I pick up my second track extension on the Grand Prix there. I've gone back to full engine power and I still can't catch Ericsson. He's incredibly quick, and that is a 3-second time penalty right there. That might just be the end of it. P3 might be the order of the day. That's really annoying. I'm going to keep pushing after Ericsson. I'm not going to give up, but I mean, I think he's got too much pace, to be honest. I mean, I'm matching my personal best and he's still going away from me. Not much I can do. I think the Saubers are just too fast here at this track. 25.1 from Leclerc. That is incredible pace. As we get loose once again. Just not feeling it today. The car does not feel good either. I'm not too happy with the balance. Same setup I've always used, but it doesn't seem to work the same for this car. And I'm not getting that consistent car performance that I like. Ericsson is still pulling away. It's one of them ones where I think it's a rare occasion. It's a bit like, I think, I can't remember what race it was earlier in the season, but I just had to, I tried it, but I had to give it up. The Saubers were just too fast. I think it might have been China maybe? No, not China, Bahrain maybe. I'm not really sure. Either way, there was a race where we just had to give it up because the Saubers were just too fast. And I think that's another one of them occasions where it doesn't matter what I do, they've just got too much pace for me and I can't answer it. I have now officially given up on my chase to Ericsson. He's just too bloody fast and the Saubers are going faster and faster. Leclerc 124.9 and we're in the 126s, so forget about it. I've just turned the engine down to standard and I'm going to try and save a little bit of the engine for the coming races because today is not my day. We're just going to try and secure this podium, to be honest. 24.2 from Leclerc. Oh my days, what a lap from the Sauber. I'm currently pushing here. I want to see if I can do a strong lap at the end, a personal best maybe. I've got Ericsson and Sorokin here, Stroll and Sorokin who won't get out of the way, but we are going to overtake the pair of them in dramatic fashion. Trying to push to the end here. See if I can make something happen, but I look up at the final corner. I want to see if I can dip into a 24, but I don't think that's going to happen. Either way, P3 for us. Grazie ragazzi, grande lavoro. Not too bad, but that's the best we could have done today. Unfortunately, not much more we could have done.
Brilliant stuff from Sauber today. What a superb victory. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
So, here they come out now onto the podium after a thrilling Grand Prix. It just goes to show what a strong position the sport is in, that these independent teams can be so competitive. What a superb victory from the Sauber team.
You must be thrilled to be up on the podium. I think it's great how much your team has been focused on developing your car. Great! Well, that's everything.
Right, so looking at the final race results, Charles Leclerc wins the British Grand Prix ahead of Marcus Ericsson. We come home P3, Carlos Sainz P4, Nico Hulkenberg 5th, the Renault's doing very good there in 4th and 5th place. Then Esteban Ocon P6, Stoffel Van Dorn P7, Max Verstappen 8th, then Ricciardo 9th, and Pierre Gasly rounding off the points. And then we've got Hartley missing out on points along with Grosjean. Alonso there, only P13, poor race for him. Perez, Hamilton, Bottas, Sirotkin and Stroll, and then Sebastian Vettel and Kevin Magnussen retire from the Grand Prix. But in terms of what the race means for the Drivers' Championship, we remain at the top. We are 19 points clear of Charles Leclerc, but he does close down the gap and the pressure is on. The Saubers are absolutely untouchable at the minute, and I'm kind of hoping at the Hockenheim we can have a better run and a little bit more stronger pace. In terms of the constructors though, we remain in second place. We lose a lot of points to Sauber due to Vettel's DNF and them getting a 1-2 finish, and we drop back to 56 points adrift of the Saubers. And to be honest, the constructors is going to be pretty damn hard to clinch in my opinion, and it's going to be even harder than the Drivers' Championship. With that being said, it's not all doom and gloom. We go again in the next race in Hockenheim. No upgrades for that race. I'm going to try and save up some big points to try and go for a big flurry of upgrades going into the second half of the season at Hungary, Spa and Monza. But if you guys did enjoy this video, drop a like and also get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content and also MotoGP content. Turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me, and finally check out these two videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that guys, thank you for watching this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.